I am Clifton, a 35-year-old software engineer who discovered my wife Amanda having an affair with her married coworker James. After 8 years of marriage, finding intimate photos of them together in our shared cloud storage shattered my world completely. I spent weeks gathering evidence and creating a detailed plan to divorce her and inform James's wife Melissa about their betrayal. What I never expected was for Amanda to discover my strategy document accidentally left open on my laptop. Before I tell you how my world exploded and what happened when Amanda discovered my plans, drop a comment letting me know where you are watching from. And subscribe. If you have ever had to make a difficult but necessary decision in your life. Amanda and I met during graduate school at a machine learning conference. I was immediately captivated by her intelligence and ambition. After a year of dating, we moved in together, and 2 years later we were married in a small ceremony surrounded by our closest friends and family. The early years were everything I had hoped for in a partnership. We supported each other through career challenges, celebrated promotions, and 3 years ago purchased our dream home in a quiet suburb outside of Seattle. We had started discussing having children, even converting one of the bedrooms into a potential nursery. We had what I thought was the perfect life. Amanda worked as a marketing specialist at a growing tech company while I developed software for a cybersecurity firm. We had a tight-knit group of friends, hosted dinner parties every month, and took annual vacations to new destinations. Her parents treated me like the son they never had, and my family adored her. The first signs that something was wrong appeared about 10 months ago. Amanda started working later than usual, often coming home after 9 at night exhausted but somehow energized. She began paying more attention to her appearance, buying new clothes, changing her hairstyle, and wearing makeup that was more noticeable than her usual subtle style. When I complimented her, she would say it was for a series of important client meetings, which seemed reasonable enough. Then came the password changes. The Amanda I knew had always been open with her devices. We knew each other's phone passwords, shared accounts, and had never felt the need for digital privacy from each other. One evening I asked to use her phone to order takeout when mine was charging, and she hesitated before unlocking it herself and handing it to me with the food delivery app already open. The real suspicion began when she packed for a 3-day marketing conference in Chicago. As she organized her suitcase, I noticed she was bringing lingerie I had not seen in years. Pieces she used to say were uncomfortable for everyday wear. When I raised an eyebrow, she quickly explained that she wanted to feel confident during her presentations. My discovery of the affair was entirely accidental. While Amanda was at work, I logged into our shared cloud storage account to back up some family photos we had taken during a recent visit to my parents. Navigation through the folders led me to an unfamiliar one labeled simply, Work Projects 2023. Thinking it might contain the vacation photos, I clicked on it. What I found destroyed me. The folder contained dozens of intimate photos of Amanda, with a man I did not recognize, along with screenshots of explicit text conversations. My hands shook as I scrolled through message after message, each one like a physical blow. They discussed their encounters in detail, made plans for future meetings, and even joked about their spouses being oblivious. I identified the man as James Peterson, her department head at work, through a quick social media search. He was in his mid-40s, married to his wife Melissa for 12 years, with 3 children aged 6 to 11. The messages revealed their affair had been going on for at least 7 months. The physical reaction to this discovery was immediate and overwhelming. I rushed to the bathroom and threw up. For the next 3 days I could barely eat or sleep. I called in sick to work, unable to focus on anything. But the images burned into my mind. Rather than confronting Amanda immediately, I decided to gather more information. I installed tracking software on our home computer, which revealed ongoing explicit communications between them. I found hotel receipts in her email from dates she claimed to be working late. The final confirmation came when I followed her one Tuesday evening, watching from my car as she and James entered a downtown hotel together. I took photos as evidence, each click of my camera phone feeling like another crack in my heart. My emotions evolved rapidly during this time. The initial shock gave way to a deep sense of betrayal, then to a cold, calculated determination. This was not just about Amanda betraying me. It was about 2 people deliberately deceiving their spouses while carrying on a workplace affair that violated professional boundaries. Once the initial shock subsided, I knew I needed to approach this situation strategically rather than emotionally. I scheduled a consultation with a divorce attorney, carefully choosing one who worked across town to minimize the chance of being seen by anyone in our social circle. The attorney, Miss Reynolds, was direct and experienced. She outlined my rights, the likely division of assets, and what evidence would be most valuable for negotiations. Document everything she advised, and do not let her know you are aware of the affair until you have all your financial arrangements in order. Following her guidance, I created a comprehensive financial inventory of our assets and debts. I made copies of tax returns, bank statements, investment accounts, property deeds, and insurance policies. I opened a separate bank account at a different institution and transferred a fair portion of our savings, being careful to leave enough in joint accounts to avoid accusations of financial misconduct. My research extended beyond our marriage. I studied Amanda's company policies and discovered explicit rules against relationships between managers and their direct reports. James, as her department head, was clearly violating company ethics guidelines. This information could prove useful for both my divorce proceedings and for James's wife. Finding Melissa Peterson was straightforward. Through social media, I learned she worked as an elementary school teacher, volunteered at their church, and was heavily involved in her children's activities. Her profile pictures showed a smiling family completely unaware of the betrayal happening behind their backs. I researched their family schedule through public social media posts, determining when might be the best time to contact her privately. Every night after Amanda fell asleep, I worked on what became a 20-page document titled Exit Strategy. The file contained a detailed timeline for confrontation, a financial division plan, scripts for telling our families and friends, and a strategy for informing James's wife. I outlined exactly what evidence I would share with each person, and how I would approach each difficult conversation. I secured an apartment lease for immediate occupancy after the confrontation, paying the security deposit and first month's rent from my new separate account. I arranged for 2 weeks of leave from work to handle the emotional and logistical fallout of ending my marriage. Understanding that my actions needed to come from a place of justice rather than vengeance, I started seeing a therapist, Dr. Morgan, who specialized in betrayal trauma. During our sessions, I processed my grief and anger, ensuring my decisions were rational rather than reactionary. Your plans to inform James's wife, are they coming from a place of revenge or compassion? Dr. Morgan asked during one session. Compassion, I answered without hesitation. If I were Melissa, I would want someone to tell me the truth. She deserves the same agency I have to make informed decisions about her life and her children's future. Dr. Morgan nodded. Just be prepared for her reaction, which may not be what you expect. I prepared 3 evidence packages. One for my divorce attorney, containing the most comprehensive documentation. A smaller one for Amanda's family, who had always treated me as a son and deserved to know why I was leaving. And a carefully curated set for Melissa that provided undeniable proof without unnecessarily graphic details. I backed up all evidence in multiple secure locations, an encrypted cloud service, a password-protected external hard drive stored in a bank safety deposit box, and copies with my attorney. I was taking no chances that this evidence could disappear. Throughout this planning phase, I established a support network of trusted friends who knew nothing about Amanda's betrayal. I reached out to old college roommates, work colleagues, and my cousin Devin, preparing them for the fact that I might need emotional support and possibly temporary housing in the near future. As I finalized my strategy, I spent considerable time reflecting on my moral reasoning for telling Melissa. This was not about hurting James or getting revenge on Amanda. It was about a fellow victim's right to truth. Melissa was making life decisions based on a fundamental lie, just as I had been. She was investing emotionally and financially in a relationship built on deception. She was possibly exposing herself to health risks without her knowledge. Most importantly, she was being denied the dignity of choice. These realizations solidified my resolve to proceed with my plan despite knowing the pain it would cause. The day everything fell apart was ordinary in every way. It was a Wednesday morning, and Amanda was preparing for work while I made coffee. We moved around each other in our morning routine, the distance between us, now feeling like a physical presence. She kissed me goodbye, the casual intimacy of it, turning my stomach, knowing where those lips had been. I might be late again tonight, she said casually. Quarterly reports are due Friday. I nodded, knowing she was meeting James at the Hilton downtown, based on messages I had intercepted the night before. No problem. I have some work to catch up on anyway. After she left, I spent several hours refining my exit strategy document, adding final details about the timing of my confrontation with Amanda and my meeting with Melissa. I had decided to speak with Melissa, first giving her the chance to confront James in her own way before Amanda became aware that I knew about the affair. Fatigue from weeks of stress and sleepless nights caught up with me. I decided to take a quick shower before continuing my preparations. In my exhaustion, I made a catastrophic mistake. I left my laptop open on the kitchen table, with the exit strategy document clearly visible on the screen. The shower was running when I heard our front door open. Amanda had forgotten her presentation folder and returned home to retrieve it. By the time I turned off the water and wrapped a towel around myself, it was too late. I found her sitting at the kitchen table, my laptop in front of her, her face a mask of shock and tears streaming down her cheeks. "What is this?" she whispered, not looking up from the screen. "What are you planning, Clifton?" My mind raced through possible responses, but I quickly realized there was no point in denial or evasion. The document laid out everything in explicit detail. "I think you know exactly what that is," I replied, my voice steadier than I expected. Her eyes finally met mine, wide with panic. "These pictures, these messages, they are not real. Someone must have manipulated them. Stop lying, Amanda. I followed you to the Hilton last Tuesday. I saw you enter room 412 with James. I have the hotel receipts, the messages, everything." Her denial quickly crumbled, replaced by desperate pleading. "It was just physical, Clifton. It meant nothing. I love you, not him. You have told him you love him repeatedly in your messages. He pursued me, I was vulnerable. Things have been so busy with work and I felt neglected. We both work the same hours. That excuse is pathetic. I was going to end it, I swear. It was a mistake that got out of hand." Each excuse only strengthened my resolve. But when Amanda scrolled further through my document and realized I planned to tell Melissa, her panic escalated dramatically. "You cannot tell his wife," she cried, gripping the laptop so hard, her knuckles turned white. "You will destroy their family, the way you and James destroyed ours," I countered. "Think about their children, Clifton. 3 innocent kids. Do you want to be responsible for breaking up their home? I am not responsible for breaking up anything. You and James made these choices. Melissa deserves to know the truth, just like I deserve to know. This is between us," Amanda insisted, her voice rising. "No one else needs to be involved. We can go to counseling. I will quit my job. I will do anything you want," I remained calm. "Melissa deserves the same agency I had. She deserves to make informed decisions about her life." As my determination became clear, Amanda's tactics changed. "If you do this, I will hurt myself," she threatened, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Is that what you want? That is emotional manipulation, and we both know it. If you are genuinely having those thoughts, I will call a mental health professional right now." She grabbed her phone and called my parents, sobbing to my confused mother that I was planning to spread vicious lies about her to her co-workers' family. Before I could intervene, she began texting our friends, painting me as unreasonable and vindictive. While this was happening, I noticed her sending messages to someone else. Within minutes, my phone buzzed with texts from an unknown number. "This is James Peterson. Whatever you think you know, you need to back off. This will only end badly for everyone." Followed by, "Be reasonable. We can work something out. Name your price." The harassment escalated quickly. Amanda became more frantic, alternating between begging for forgiveness and making threats. "If you tell Melissa, I will tell everyone you were physically abusive. I will say, you monitored me illegally. If you tell Melissa, I will make sure you lose your job. Her words rang hollow, but I recognized the danger in them. Calmly, I reached for my phone and set it on the table between us, activating the recording function in plain view. Would you mind repeating what you just said, Amanda? About making false accusations. Her eyes widened as she realized her mistake. Without another word, she stormed upstairs, threw some clothes into a bag, and announced she would be staying with her friend Diane. As she left, she turned back with red-rimmed eyes. This is not over, Clifton. You have no idea what you are doing. The next 48 hours brought a barrage of messages from James, his work colleagues, and even his brother, all attempting to dissuade me from moving forward with my plan. Offers of money were followed by veiled professional threats. Each desperate attempt only strengthened my resolve to follow through. Despite the chaos Amanda had unleashed, I proceeded with my plan. I contacted Melissa through a private message on social media, asking to meet regarding an urgent personal matter concerning her husband. She agreed to meet at a quiet cafe near her workplace during her lunch break. When Melissa arrived, I recognized her immediately from photos. She looked tired, but carried herself with dignity. I had prepared carefully for this conversation, focusing on compassion rather than revenge. I do not know how to say this gently. I began after brief introductions. But my wife, Amanda, has been having an affair with your husband James for at least 7 months. Disbelief flashed across her face. There must be some mistake. James would never. I slid a folder across the table containing selected evidence, hotel receipts, photos of them entering the hotel together, and screenshots of non-explicit but clearly romantic messages. Melissa's hands trembled as she reviewed the documents. "Oh my God," she whispered, her eyes filling with tears. "Our anniversary was last month. He was with her that weekend. He said he was at a conference. Was he not?" I nodded gently. She sat in silence for several minutes, processing the information. Finally, she looked up. "Thank you," she said unexpectedly. "It must have taken courage to do this. Most people would have stayed silent." "You deserve to know," I replied simply. "Everyone deserves the truth." The aftermath unfolded in ways I could not have predicted. Melissa confronted James that same evening with the evidence I provided. According to a brief message she sent me days later, he had initially tried to deny everything but crumbled when faced with the photos. Meanwhile, Amanda's attempted character assassination backfired. Our friends, seeing her erratic behavior and vague accusations contrasted with my calm, evidence-based approach, largely sided with me. Her parents, whom I had always been close with, called me directly to hear my side of the story. After a difficult but honest conversation, her father said words I will never forget. "We raised her better than this." "We are so sorry, Clifton." The professional consequences came swiftly. An anonymous tip, not from me, to the HR department at Amanda and James's company prompted an investigation into their relationship. Both were found to have violated company policy, with James suspended pending further review due to the power dynamic as her superior. Amanda was placed on probation and transferred to another department. The divorce proceedings moved forward with surprising efficiency. Amanda's recorded threats undermined any attempts to make false accusations against me. With the evidence of infidelity clearly documented, my attorney negotiated a settlement that was fair to both parties. We sold the house and divided the proceeds, each taking the personal property agreed upon in mediation. 6 months after that fateful day, I ran into mutual friends who shared updates on everyone involved. James and Melissa had separated, with James moving to an apartment across town. Their children were struggling with the transition, especially after learning a sanitized version of why their father had left. His reputation at work and in their community had suffered significantly. Amanda had been passed over for a promotion she had been working toward for years, the company citing concerns about professional judgment. She had moved to a smaller apartment and, according to friends, had started therapy to address her choices. As for me, the initial pain had given way to healing. I had moved into a comfortable condo closer to downtown, reconnected with old friends, and even begun dating casually. The therapist I continued seeing helped me recognize that while trust would be challenging in future relationships, my experience did not have to define me. 1 year after exposing the affair, I unexpectedly encountered Melissa at a local coffee shop. She looked different, more confident somehow, despite the difficulty of the past year. "I never properly thanked you," she said after we exchanged greetings. "What you did was incredibly brave." "How are you and the kids doing?" I asked. "It has been hard," she admitted, "but ultimately better than living a lie. The children are adjusting, and I am finally building a life that is authentic. I filed for divorce 6 months ago." Her words validated what I had always believed, that truth, while painful, is ultimately the most compassionate choice we can make for ourselves and others. The experience changed me profoundly. I became more attuned to my instincts and less willing to ignore warning signs in relationships. I developed stronger boundaries and a deeper appreciation for honesty, even when uncomfortable. About 18 months after discovering Amanda's betrayal, I met Rachel at a friend's dinner party. Our connection was immediate, but I proceeded cautiously, sharing my past experience when it felt appropriate. Her response surprised me. "I was cheated on in my last relationship too," she confided. "What matters to me now is not finding someone perfect, but finding someone committed to honesty even when it is difficult." That conversation became the foundation of our relationship, one built on transparency and mutual respect, rather than blind trust or idealization. Looking back now, I do not regret my decision to expose the affair to Melissa, despite the chaos it initially caused. Telling the truth was not about vengeance, but about integrity, about standing up for the principle that everyone deserves to make life decisions based on reality, not deception. The hardest decisions are often the ones that define us. In choosing truth over comfort, in refusing to be complicit in another person's deception, I found a strength in myself I never knew existed. Sometimes the path of greatest resistance leads to the most profound growth. Have you ever faced a situation where exposing a difficult truth seemed more harmful than helpful? How did you handle it? Share your experience in the comments below. If this story resonated with you or gave you perspective on a similar situation, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And consider sharing this video with someone who might be struggling with whether to speak up or stay silent in the face of deception. Thank you for listening to my journey, and remember, choosing truth may be painful, but living in deception is ultimately more damaging to our souls.